Hey, what's going on, ESO community? This is my version of my Gankplar, a Stamina Templar build. It is derived from Ghost Build, who Jack Daniel created. I will put a link below. So, saw his build, I saw what can be done with that build, and I just adapted it in my play style. I am running Orc. You could run any class really with, well, not class, but any race, but I decided to go Orc on this class just because I wanted the speed, reduced cost of sprint, and the melee damage, which is 4% extra, and that 4% adds up, you know. Unflinching is also very nice. Increase your healing received by 5 and increase health recovery by 20%. So that's how I get some of my burst healing effects from rally, but I'll go into that. But unflinching, very nice. Brawny, increased max health and stamina, very nice. One of the skills also that a lot of people don't talk about, and I picked this, you know, because I don't have that much sustain. Improved hiding, reduce the cost of sneak by 40%. This is a sneaky build. You're sneaking around Imperial City and you're just ganking people for Telvar. That's what you're out there getting stones, and you need to sneak around, because once they see you, I mean, everyone's defenses are going to go up. You want to catch them with the defenses down, go in there, take their stones, and get out. I mostly hunt big groups, but, you know, small groups, whoever's farming, I want your stones, okay? So this is a great way to sustain. Ledgerman, have that up. On my particular build, I go 7 medium all the way. I know the popular right now is 5-on-1, and it's great, 5-on-1, but I see for ganking, there are particular abilities here that just help us when we're sneaking around. Dexterity, increased weapon critical. Windwalker, we get that bonus, reduce stamina cost to all your abilities by 3%. I mean, we're a Stam Templar, we don't have that many ways to get our stamina back besides repentance. So 21% is nice. Increase recovery by 28%, very nice. Improve sneak, reduce the cost of sneak by 7%, and so our bonus on that is 49. Reduce size of our detection is 35%. I mean, it is a lot. I could be right next to some of these big groups. They never see me. If you've seen any of my Gank Blade videos, you'll notice that I'm just walking around people and they don't see me until, bam, I start attacking. Then they're like, oh, somebody's there. I've gone and just stalking people just to find that perfect opportunity to gank them. Agility, 5 pieces, gives you that 12% extra damage, you know, all about weapon damage percentages. I love it. So 12% on top of the 4%. You'll see where I'm going with this. It's all about percentages. Athletics, increased movement speed, 21%. This build is all about speed. This is one of the reasons why I don't use jabs. People are like, how can you not use jabs? In and out. I need to go in. I can't use jabs, even though it's a great ability for Templars. It just keeps you at a place. I think on the 1v1 video that I put at the end where I'm against a Magicka Templar, he's using jabs and he's never hitting me because I'm just walking away, really, and he's just jabbing it away. It's great, the movement speed bonus. Road dodge, so reduce cost by 28%. This is why on my champion points you'll see that I only got like, I think 10%, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But 7 all the way on medium armor. Shuffle, great RNG to save your life. 15%. I mean, every time I use it, it's like I don't even get it. I don't know, it's broken for me or something. That's why I don't use it. A lot of people that I go up against, I miss 5 attacks in a row. Well, the most was 4. I won't say 5, but the most attacks that I've missed on a person is 4 attacks. RNG Jesus saved him all the way, and then I lost that match. Comes with the territory. Bow abilities. We are 2-hand bow. Bow is great for hasty retreat. That major expedition, 30%. This is why I use bow besides great abilities. But passive wise, this is going to be great. Hawkeye is great dealing damage, especially if you're going to light attack heavy sword and board tank that's just going to block. Just welt him down with light attacks. Two-hander abilities. This is your main DPS. Light attacks, heavy attacks, damage to other people, 33% extra. Awesome. That would be great with reverse slice, but I use executioner. I'll go into that a little bit. We'll get in there. Heavy attack, sword, 5% on top of the 4%, on top of the other damage ability of 12%. You see, it's all about, for me anyway, I want that burst damage, so I'm adding damage and damage. Balance, reduce cost, because you know we don't have anything. Heavy attacks. People don't do enough heavy attacks in this game for whatever reason. They think it's going to take too long, but it doesn't. So do heavy attacks in between some of your abilities. 10% extra damage on top of everything. Battle rush, extra stamina recovery, 30% for 10 seconds. Awesome skill or passive ability. Restoring light. We want all our passives for our Templars. We don't have that many abilities that we use that can benefit a Templar. And I'll go into it, but major mending is one of it from Sacred Ground. I'll go a little bit into it once we get the skill, but you want all your passives on your Templar. Dawn's Wrath. The only one, I mean, that's good. Restoring Spirit, 4%. Okay, I'll take it. It's whatever, minor. We don't have that many spell abilities. But the best one is casting Dawn abilities, 3 ultimate every 6 seconds. I use a timer on that. I used to do this a lot for my Magicka build. Templar, Power of the Light, lasts for 6 seconds. So when you know that's up, bam, pop it again, and you get another 3 ultimate. So use that. Adric's skill ability, Piercing Spear. Having an Adric Spear ability for that extra 10% crit damage on your against enemy players, basically. Spear Wall against blocking. Burning Light, awesome. That really only procs on our Adric Spear abilities though, so Burning Light would be nicer if I did run a jabs or proc more, but I don't use it. Balanced Warrior, increase weapon damage by 6%. You know, you just start adding them. 4, 6, 12, you know, you just start adding it and you'll see that you start hitting pretty hard. Let's see, those are the ones that I wanted to talk about the most on it. Let's go character wise. Stamina, we're going all the way, 64. You see that we don't have that much recovery at all. 880 stamina recovery is pretty pathetic, but I'm going for a glass build, glass cannon, so hit hard. It's a double-edged sword basically. Right now our weapon damage is at 2706, unbuffed. Buffed gets up to 3289, and we'll kind of reach the 3600 from our weapon enchant, from our bow, increased by 348. And I'll go a little bit into that once we start talking about that. But so boon, we're using the warrior. You can use shadow, thief. But warrior seems, I want that extra weapon damage by 167. Minor berserk, we'll talk about the monster helm. Minor fortitude, minor intellect, minor endurance, and that's from our repentance that we're getting this from. But vampirism, great ability. You need to be stage 4, and mostly I use it for speedy mist and to reduce sneak, really. Our health is hit by regeneration, but it doesn't affect us that much as one might think. Alright, let's go into our skills. Well, let's go into our two-handed front bar. We're using Sorcerer, disease on it for that minor or major debuff for heals against Magicka Templars or anybody healing really, right? And it's sharpened two-hander. We want that 434 extra weapon damage to our two-handed ability. This one does go well with our, it does stack with our rally. So we do get that extra 400 off the rally. I know automating is very nice with this build as well. I just don't have the sharpened sword for it, so Sword Singer, just as good in my opinion. In fact, I stopped looking for automatons or automatons because I think now Sword Singer might be, for my build, pretty good, just for the extra heal. Back bar is going to be Night Silence, gold weapon, and I got weapon sharpened on this one, but you could go infused for extra weapon damage, or you could go even defensive. Those three traits will be just as good. Then we're going to go into our Slime Crawl. Impin on this one, and we're got Slime Crawl on for the Minor Berserk. 8% damage done on everything. That's all included. Now you might not see it on the stat sheet, but it is there with everything else included in, you know, our damages. So that's included. Chest I have, well not chest, but shoulder I have reinforced, but it's medium, so that's, I've been contemplating go divines on this, but I might not, I'll be a little bit more squishy, so sticking with Impin. On chest I got well fitted. Wanted to try that out, but of course you go Impin, infused as well for extra stam. Max stamina on all pieces. Impin on my Night Silence. Sword Singer, I have weapon damage all the way, robust. Your gear can be purple, but make sure guys that your weapons are at least gold. Gold out your weapons and that'll give you the max damage that you could get. Let's see, going into skills. What I run, a back bar. Right now I want to be a little bit more gankier, so Radiant Mage Light into Lethal Arrow once I'm in Sneak. You get that sneak bonus. Lethal Arrow for the poison injection. I mean Lethal Arrow for the Major Defile, right? But I also run Lethal Arrow, not Lethal Arrow, Poison Injection. Great dot, especially under 50%. I mean, you're hitting for 10k, so it's up to you. I run Poison Injection a lot. I'm running Lethal Arrow just to try it out, just to be a little bit gankier. Power of Light. Power Light's a great skill for minor fracture and minor breach. A lot of people say it's a little bit broken right now, but you know, what skill and what class is not broken? To me, this is the only Templar ability that's been a real buff for us, for Templar in general. Our Mist, our defensive and offensive. You could go into a fight, you could get away from a fight with defensive Elusive Mist, or in our case Speedy Mist. Extended Ritual for that cleanse, for that purify, and also that circle is, if you go into your Templar passive, Sacred Ground, giving movement speed reduced by 30%. So this is why I could escape a lot of times. I reduce the speed of other people. Then I got that Speedy Mist. It's almost like 70% speed, so I take off. Radiant Mage Light, I use this to get guys out of stealth, or Night Blades, and also to expose them, but also not to get ganked. You know, 50% from gank blades, and there are a lot of them, but also to empower our Lethal Arrow when we first get in. This is why you're gonna need Mage's Guild ability to 10 to get out of the guild for that extra 20% damage. Lasts for 5 seconds and you go right into whatever attack, really. But in my combination, I go right into Lethal Arrow and then swap over and start attacking. Flawless Dawnbreaker for that 8% weapon damage. It says 5, but that's for the skill itself. But if you go to Fighter's Guild, passive ability Slayer, increase weapon damage by 3% for each guild ability slotted, which is 3%. So 3% on top of the 5% gives us another 8%, and I'm all about stacking damage as much as I can. We could also go Ballista for that extra peel away. You know, if you're getting pressured a lot, plop that Ballista. They're gonna have to block or line of sight it. You know, it gives you time to get away. I've used Ballista a lot to get out of sticky situations. Clouding Swarm does not work as before, so we don't use it. Used to be a good build. You can use Crescent Sweep for that extra crit damage from our edge ability, but I'm using really Flawless for that extra damage on top of our bow. Let's go to our front bar. Our front bar, we have Executioner. I use this for the extra 50%. The reverse slice gives 300, right? But all about percentages here, and I'll show you on my champion skill trees how I go in even further. But that 50%, I like it. A solo player, but if you're gonna run this in more group-oriented, reverse slice would do you even better. But I use Executioner. Binding Javelin for that stun and knockback. Great 6k. Repentance for that minor endurance, minor intellect, and increased stam recovery by 10%. But you know, it's a double-edged sword, this build. If you're not killing, you cannot sustain. You kill, you sustain. So this is where it's a double-edged sword. Crit Rush, one of our main damage abilities that we use besides Executioner. Heavy attack into Crit Rush, and you're hitting guys not only for 7k but sometimes 10k damage. Rally, of course, for that weapon damage increase by 20%, and also for that burst heal at the end. You know, you go into your Speedy Mist, and that takes 6 seconds, and once you go out, you're close enough to get that big rally burst heal. It lasts 33 seconds, so the longer you hold out on it, the bigger your burst heal. Crescent Sweep. This ability is great because even though I got an Adric skill ability from Javelin, it's 72 ultimate, and it hits really hard. Enemies in front of me take 66 extra damage. I normally heavy attack into the 66, so 10% on top of the 66. On top of what we already do on damage wise, and this is why we hit pretty hard. Really liking that ability right there. Let's see what else. Of course, if you're having trouble sustaining, you could always take out Radiant Mage Light and go to Resolve in Vigor. Also, another great ability is restoring focus. You get a minor vitality and minor protection, and increased healing received by 8%, and reducing damage taken by 8. I also use this a lot. You could use the other one, which gives you max Magicka, to use Speedy Mist more. I know Jack Daniels uses that ability a lot because he uses Speedy Mist for a lot of offensive attacks. I use it more for defensive, sometimes offensive, but mostly defensive. So I don't need it as much as he does. So this is why I go for reduced damage taken. But great ability also. Of course, you could go Vigor as well. And of course, continuous attack once you take a plot, especially since I play in Imperial City a lot. An extra 10% damage on top of taking resources is also great. Alchemy, make sure you got medicinal use for 30% extra staying power or lasting longer. Did I miss anything? I think I got everything that I wanted to cover on that. Let's go into my champion tree. Pretty basic on the green tree. Warlord 80, Magician 15, Sprinter. I want reduced cost of sprint by 10%. I'm always moving around, so I go 28 into Sprinter. Bash 1% into reduced bash attacks. This you can play around with, really. Tenacity 35. You saw that we don't have a lot of recovery, so I really don't put into it, you know, but I do a lot of heavy attack, so 8.5% is nice. Tumbling, break free is nice, 10%, 1% in the block, and stam reduction. In the mage's tree or apprentice, I only go 5 into bless, 3.1, I mean, it's whatever. Now in this tree, this is where I differ from a lot of other builds out there. Now that Morwind's coming out, I think more people are going to go into this build, and I'll talk a little bit about why in a second. But I go 48 into melee weapons, bow 45, and shattering blows 27, 10% for those shield stacking swords. Retaliation is nice, 30% after blocking. Repulsal, I mean it's RNG, but 6k on the block is nice. Light and heavy attacks, 5%. Might not seem like a lot, but with this build, sometimes you do not have any stamina, so you're just swinging away. And that 5% when you know they're under 25 and you just need an extra ability, bam, hit them with that. That light attack or heavy attack hits them for an extra 5% on top of everything else. I mean, I love the percentages. But why I went 120 was Tactician. Set enemies off balance when you successfully use roll dodge to avoid their attacks. Now, before the 600 CP, you couldn't get to 120 on this and still have the 75 left over to get to how we get the off balance, or what to do. I'll show you right here, which is Exploiter. Increase weapon damage by 10%. We couldn't do that before 600. 600 came out, and I was like, automatically I did this. I might have seen one other guy go up to 120. Now, I've even seen Alcast now use Exploiter, because he could set off damage, and he only does that on his Magicka Sorc, because on his, I know I'm going off tangent a little bit, but on his Destruction Staff, on Lightning Staff, Wall of Elements, Wall of Storm sets concussed enemies off balance, so you get that 10% when you concuss a person. Well, for Templars, we don't really have a way to concuss anybody, really. So, I think Dragon Knights have an ability, and I can't remember if Magicka, can't remember if the other STAM classes have it, but for Templars in general, we do not have it. So, set off balance after successful roll dodge to avoid their attack is awesome. Not only that, but when you set them off balance, you kind of stun them a little bit. It's not like a hard stun, it's not a hard soft stun, and you just immobilize them for a quick second, and you roll dodge out of there and get the hell out of dodge. And this is what I use a lot. So of course 75 into this. Opportunist, great. Perfect strike, great. But Exploiter, increase your damage off 10%. Balance enemies off for 10%. Now, people might say, well, why not just go 25 for Mighty, you know, or for Last Stand? I mean, when you fall below 20%, you don't want to fall below 50%, because you got these spamming Templars, right? I mean, they'll start spamming you, and if they get you at 20%, you're pretty much dead. You don't want to go below 20%. So keep your health high. So if we look at it at 25%, right? If you want to look at a percentage, so I lose 5%, right? Because I don't have, you know, the 25%. But if I off balance somebody, I get that 10%. So technically 20 plus 30, plus 10 gives me the 30, right? So I gain really 5% weapon damage. So this is why I stay with 20, and I don't mind losing the 5%. Piercing is nice. Precise strikes is also great, but in this particular build, I use heavy attacks a lot. I use bow a lot, and people have their shields, you know. So I need to get around that, and this is what I do. So I don't mind losing out of precise strikes and piercing. Penetration, I already have sharpened, so this is how I get through piercing. But Exploiter, now you know, Tactician, Exploiter, Morrowind, from what I saw Alcast talking about, that I don't think they're going to change that Tactician or Exploiter, so we're good to go. This might be best in slot for Morrowind, so hopefully you guys could take advantage of that. The Steed, you could go into it, but what you really want is 30 points at least to get, since you roll dodge, you want that physical and spell resist for 660. So these points you could vary. I've been playing with this. So far I like this setup. So play around with it. You might, you know, like it or dislike it. You just might want to take those extra 15 points and put them elsewhere. Of course, you want 120 in this for the Unchained passive. So I go 75 and 57 and 10 thick-skinned. Even though you could take away, you know, or cleanse your dots, I mean, you're not gonna, as soon as you get dot up, cleanse right away, right? So you want thick skin to help you with that reduced damage over time. And 10%, just 10 into quick recovery for that 4%, and just that build position while you're trying to pick up somebody. 15% resurrecting is pretty nice. Hopefully that helps you guys. I will talk about what I use for pots, but let's see. I normally use max health, max stam, and max magicka, but the max recovery, max stam, right, and max magicka. Take this when you're outnumbered and you have. Take this when you're out of resources and you get behind line of sight. You take this, and you saw how my character's, you know, recovery was pretty much not there, but now we have it. 1446, 1000 recovery. Get that up there. Once, of course, you can do this behind line of sight, and once you gotten your stuff back up, go back to max health. Yours could vary depending on your build or how you run your build. You could also use sticky pork, max health, max stam. Essence of detections, increase stealth detection by 20 meters for 15.7 seconds. Guys, I don't know what it is, but you pull a Nightblade out of stealth and they totally forget how to fight. So Nightblades to me are the simplest class to fight if you have stealth detection, or you could pop them out of stealth. They become easy. A lot of people hate Nightblades, but for me it's an easy class to fight. This is why I have two versions of this. Essence of Immobility 6, become immune to knockbacks and increase your stealth detection by 20 meters by 15 seconds. Again, this is to fight the Nightblades. Pull them out. That way I won't get, you know, immune, or I'm immune to disabling effects for 15 seconds. Essence of Immovability, I pop this before I go into a group fight because I don't want to get stunned at all. Also, the health recovery and stamina recovery for 20% for 47 seconds is awesome, or it's great to help you out. I use this in conjunction with my burst heal. My burst heal pops. I use this as well to get that. Get my health back 100%. Essence of Invisibility. When I'm running away, sometimes I have ads chasing me too, and it's so annoying I can't run away. I got a big score of 10k stones on me, and I can't go back into sneak for whatever reason. Either one of the other guys that are chasing me marked me up, or an ad, I accidentally bumped into him and he's marking me up. So what I do is cleanse first, because you don't want no dots, because once you use this pot and you have a dot on you, it's going to pull you out of stealth, and that's it. You just wasted a pot. So what you do is cleanse first and then pop invisibility, and you are gone. I get told I pop invisible pots all the time, and it's not the case. I kill a guy, I can immediately go into sneak without using invis pots. I hardly use these, but when I need them, I know I have them right there, and this is what I use. A signal of retreat, I use these when I have a big score, 10k plus stones, get the hell out of dodge with my prize, right? I try to put commentary on my fights just right now, and I couldn't do it. I'm using YouTube editor, not the PlayStation 4 editor, so I don't know how to. Maybe I need to go to PlayStation 4 editor so I could comment on my fights, but I'm using YouTube editor. So sorry about that, guys. I'll try to put music back there and hope you'll enjoy the fights. We'll put a 1v1 against Magicka Templar that I kind of caught off guard. I'm trying to attack them, and Magicka Templars are a hard class to fight. I'll put a 1v2, or me, not a 1v2 per se, me myself ganking two guys to get over 10k stones, and then a group fight, myself going into a fight with a group of people, doing what I can. When I see we're outnumbered, I do peel away, but I do come back into the fight. That's one of the things. I don't stay in there to fight. I'm not a tanky build at all. I'm very squishy, in and out. If I see I'm not going to win a fight against a group of people, I get out of dodge, you know, and then I come back or start picking away. If I could peel some people, and that's what I think happened, I was able to peel some reds away from the group. Because as I go back in, I see a blue fighting 2 reds on the left of my screen, and then as I go back, you know, I got other 3 blues fighting. So I go and help back, and we kind of wipe the reds there, and I see yellow even try to get in the mix. But yeah, guys, sorry I can't get the audio on that, or at least commentary. I will make a separate video on training dummy, how to use some of these attacks of mine and what I do for animation cancels and stuff like that, because animation cancel is important for this build, and that's one of my key survivabilities for this build on my attacks and defensive capabilities of this Gankplar build. So guys, please enjoy the video, and I'll see you out there.